how to explain your work fast and effectively in short meetings. I've recently got this question from a client of mine that explained to me that in her job there are ever so common these super short briefings of like 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes, where you have a few minutes only to explain your work and your progress. And she was complaining about that because she said, but my work is so complex and I'm talking to people who do not know the background, so I always spend so much time providing some context for them, and then I don't really focus on the part that I should be focusing. So how can I solve it? And I wanted to address this question because I find it so interesting that in today's world, when attention spans are super short, also meetings are becoming shorter. And of course, for us as experts, as STEM professionals, it's really challenging to convey our work and our expertise in only a few minutes. And what I see people doing, and why I will explain why this doesn't work, people tend to get really deep into the context, like this is important because of this reason, and then we did this. So they get into the details very fast, and of course people get lost. So first you have a time managing problem, because if you get into the details, then you have to provide context, then you have to provide some examples so that people who are not from your expertise actually understand you. But then you have this other layer of complexity, which is, okay, they do not understand me and they are not even listening to me. So how can we solve this problem? I always talk about how important it is to explain your work in a way that your audience can understand its impact. And I would say that in short meetings, this is even more important. So you basically cannot afford to talk about what you want to talk about. The only thing you can talk about is what they care about. So this mindset shift is something that is super important when you do not have a lot of time to explain your work, because you do not, as I said, you do not have time to provide the context, the background that is necessary for people to understand what is it that you did and what are your contributions, for example, to the project. So the only thing that you can do in just a few minutes or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the only thing that you can actually do is to talk about what they already know matters to them and connect your work to that topic. Okay, so this of course isn't easy, and it requires some skills, and the skill you have to develop in order to be able to convey and explain your work in that way is really master this ability of connecting your work to what your audience cares about. And I would say that this is sort of the ultimate solution whenever you are explaining your work and you want to make your work be visible and its impact to be visible to others, whether you are applying for funds or you are pitching your project or you are just explaining your work to your peers or pitching maybe for a promotion. That's when you want to save time laying this groundwork and say, okay, this is what these people already know matters. So how can I connect what I did to put it just on top instead of building the house from the foundation up, simply because you do not have time to do that. So that's the ultimate skill that you should develop. And I feel that it's not only for short meetings, but it's also for any kind of meeting. Because if you know, if you start thinking in this way, so if you develop this mindset of, okay, instead of talking about what I think matters, let's talk about what they think matters, or what matters actually factually to them, and connect my work to exactly that. That way you're sort of taking advantage of their mindset, of their expertise, of their knowledge, and most importantly of their attention, which is something we are always competing against, since attention spans, as I said, are super short, and especially when we are explaining something complex, people tend to shut down because simply they do not understand it. So this is a very smart and, I would say, straightforward way to solve this problem, but of course it requires some skills and it requires really some practice in order to get good at it. But once you are good at it, I promise it's going to become much easier to explain your work, to show your impact, and to prove that you're the expert that you actually are, that your work is as brilliant and shines as bright as it should. So if this resonated with you, if you feel, okay, this makes sense, I would like to learn more about that, I would like to invite you to join my coaching program, in which we work exactly on that. So I specialized in coaching STEM professionals on improving their communication skills, especially if you feel, for those experts who feel that they are sort of the expert in the background and they are not getting full recognition for the amazing work that they are doing. Whether you are applying for funding, pitching your project, or maybe applying for promotion, I'm going to leave a link down below in the description where you can schedule a completely free discovery call with me, where we can discuss those specific things, like your struggles, your challenges in your STEM career, and see how we can work it out together. So I hope that you found this video useful, that you will take something from this video and you will apply it for your next short meeting and presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in another video. Bye bye.